can sit with you for 4 hours and just speak about 60,000, 70,000 books that I've read. So everyone has a unique talent.
Welcome, Supermoms, to Mom's Talk. Our today's Supermom guest is joining us from Dubai. She is the owner of Booktopia. She's famously known as the book lady of UAE. Welcoming Malar Balaji. Lovely to have you, Malar.
Hi, Avni. So excited to be here on your show.
I'm excited too, Malar. And, I wanted to start off by asking you this title that you've got, the book lady of UAE, is like fully loaded title, such a heavy title to carry. What's
Yeah.
the story behind it, Malar? How did you become the lady, the book lady of UAE?
Uh, Quite ironically, this just goes back to being an expat in a foreign country.
Hmm.
When came to Dubai in 2016, I did not know it was a year of reading. It was by coincidence I came to Dubai in 2016, and because I love books and I do a lot of workshops and reading workshops to children, the government had invited me to do reading workshops. It was a huge hit. But
Hmm.
Indian pronouncing Indian names was quite difficult. So the government officials, because they've only seen me reading books to children and talking about books, they said, "Hey, that the book lady. Can you please invite the book lady? Can you please ask the book lady to talk?" And then it just became my name. And I think, what else can I expect for? This is such a great title to earn.
Absolutely, absolutely, Malar. How was that journey like, from being an expat and from coming to from India to a different country and then holding this title and then, getting recognized for the work that you're doing. How was it like?
Honestly, Avni, I think it took some years for that to sink in because,
Hmm.
again, as expat moms and raising children in a different country with no support, every day was a hustle. I
Hmm.
only had the bandwidth to think about what next. What am I going to pack for school tomorrow? How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to survive? Is this going to last? So it took some years, and after a few years, I realized that this is a huge responsibility, and it is a huge honor that I have to carry not only for myself but for my country.
Hmm.
So I was gradually called that, the Indian lady, the Indian book lady, the book lady who comes in a sari, So then, when the recognition started coming in, I just took that as a responsibility, and that's what I feel. I feel that is a huge honor, and I'm very humbled.
You are a computer engineer by profession. You've also worked in the corporate world for quite many
Yes.
years. How did that switch happen from being
And
a computer engineer?
I know, and I actually we could have swapped lives. I was this close to moving to the US. The IT engineer, the software techie, going
Hmm.
home
Hmm.
once in 6 months, all of that. I think life just swapped, but I think it was a very conscious decision. My heart was not there, and
Hmm.
I tried a lot, but no, my heart was not there. I was the most happiest reading books and writing books and talking about books. And it was a conscious decision that I decided to put my foot, especially after I had my children. One
Hmm.
day, while I was scrolling on Facebook, I saw this post. I'm sure most of you must have seen that too. It was this big lion king with a small lion. It's like, who's
Hmm.
watching?
Hmm.
Don't give up, because just see who's watching you. And that made me feel I should be an example and inspiration to my children and just be myself. And that is what they need. Just they want to see their mom. They have to see their mom as a strong person and just following her passion and dreams. And I thought that was my way of giving back to my kids. So I said,
Hmm.
I'm going to do books and I'm going to talk, and this is how I'm going to do my business. And I created a business model, which stayed and is staying true to the love of books and reading.
Hmm. Absolutely, Malar. You are an author and you have wrote many management books as well. Um, Now, from being an author to having your own bookstores, that itself is a challenge, and um, how do you kind of entice people which are
Uh,
culturally different and have different interests and bring them under this one roof? How do you do that?
and this is my famous line, Avni. I always tell to a lot of authors, and I really request people to take this with a pinch of salt. The
Hmm.
art of writing a book is tangentially opposite to the trade of selling a book.
Hmm.
It's completely different. This is business. So, since I have a management background, since I have a management degree, I understood business is numbers, and your expertise lies in leveraging your passion, your skills, and to
Hmm.
create and creating a profitable venture out of it, which can be scaled, which is profitable, and which serves a purpose. I have to pay bills and salaries and all of that. So that was always there fundamentally, even before that idea was always there fundamentally, even before I started my business. So I was very clear, the agenda was
Hmm.
set. But yes, the biggest challenge I faced initially is to cater to an audience which was completely diverse. It
Hmm.
was a challenge. It was very interesting. Nevertheless, I didn't know. I mean, for example, an Indian mother was so used to reading Ruskin Bond or Enid Blyton, whereas a mom who's come from Lebanon had completely a different choice selection of books. And there's a mom who'd come from, South Africa who had completely different choice. But it actually helped me better my skills, and it also created a platform and canvas where I could create a new roadmap. I could create a new set of books that children of this generation can read, some from here,
Hmm.
some from there. Curation is 60% of my job, but and I think the audience, the my audience here in the UAE have been so receptive and have
Hmm.
taken the feedback. And so now we're able to introduce a lot of new books for children to break barriers of a very regional and cultural preferences.
Hmm. Hmm. So is there a plan for you where you go out there and research of what different kind of books people are interested in or the kids are interested in? How do you gather that data? How do you do that?
Um, I think it is community engagement.
Hmm.
And that was how Booktopia started. We started as a Facebook group, and then I went and spoke to a lot of people. I was on the field talking to moms. I went to schools to do talks, and that had a lot of interaction. So, as a business, community engagement is very important because you can know a lot of things. I could be an expert
Hmm.
at quantum physics, but does my 4 years or 4 year old son need it? Right? I mean,
Hmm.
he needs a bedtime story. So, community engagement and talking to mums and dads and children kept us grounded and actually showed us what they actually wanted and needed. So that helped me go back and do my research of who can cater to this, who can. Once the demand was established, when I understood the demand, then I took time to go do a lot of research on supply, and
Hmm.
and the magic happened. We brought everything together, and social media
Hmm.
helped.
That's lovely, Malar. You mentioned that you used to read books to a lot of children, numerous children. Could you share some of the techniques that can help our viewers to encourage their children of all ages to read?
I would love to do that, and I'm a strong advocate of reading books to other people. Feb 7th was World Read Aloud Day, and
Hmm.
uh, that was like a great opportunity. I was strongly advocating everybody just take a book and read to the next person sitting next to you.
Hmm.
Uh, do you know where the word reader comes from? Earlier in the 18th century, or even
Hmm.
long back, there was one person in the town square
Hmm.
who, but we are speaking about, long ago, many centuries ago, in
Yeah.
the land of bards and poets. There was not a there was people did not have access to books. So there was this
Hmm.
guy who used to stand in the town square and read what the poets wrote or the bards wrote, maybe what the king liked, and that guy was called a reader. The
Hmm.
title he
Hmm.
had was called the reader because he was reading. So that is the root of the word reader. So that's exactly
Hmm.
what we should do. Bedtime reading is very simple for children. We only speak about bedtime reading, just like brushing your teeth, going to bed, take a book and read so you calm down. But reading
Mm-hmm.
in general can be done to anybody. If you like a newspaper article, you can just read it to your husband over coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
The first step that you need is to understand, just take the first initiative to read something which is actually sharing. Reading is sharing knowledge that you have. And the
Mm-hmm.
second thing, especially if for children, what do we need for children is atmosphere. They have to see people read, they should have access to books.
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know they should have the convenience of going and choosing a book. Even if you have one shelf, just have some books on the shelf so the child has can choose books from the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can help the child get more access by taking the child to a library or a local bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the third thing is communication. Talk about books and talk about reading and talk about what you read so the child also feels encouraged to do the same. And that's it. I mean, it doesn't have any superpower. You don't need to have a superpower to do that. It is just normal life. It is just bringing everything into normal life and
Mm-hmm.
normalizing it.
Absolutely. You said it right, Malar. Just to get an easy access to book is the first step to introducing them to books. If there are books around them, they'll, somehow when they're bored or something, they'll just pick up a book and start reading. And it's just that, it could be any kind of book that they like to read. I like the fact that, you can just slip into the character and then kind of live the character's life while you're reading the book. So, very good tips and techniques you shared. Thank you for doing that, Malar. You are a mother, and a mother of two. Having this entire business in your hand, growing it needs a lot of time, lot of effort. You have to stay up for days. There's a lot that goes into making a business a success and being a mother. There
Yeah.
is a very difficult balance that you have to maintain. In your case, how were you able to maintain that balance?
Um, it's not easy. Every day, I will not say that it was a cakewalk and I have one secret that you can try. No, as I said, every day is a hustle. But the fundamental part is to have an understanding life partner, where
Mm-hmm.
who supports you, who understand that parenting is not a mom's job.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so my husband actually took in a lot of responsibilities from my hand, and in both in business and personal life, he did his fair share of work to make the family unit work. And as the
Mm-hmm.
children grew, they also understood that. I always tell them, we speak Tamil at home because that's our mother tongue. So this is how Amma works and this is
Mm-hmm.
our system. So that was from an initial stage. We spoke to the children and said, this is our pattern of life. This is our lifestyle." And so I think from early on, this is what they've seen. So it was just very easy for them to adapt to the lifestyle. But as they grew and now they are teenagers, I think the credit goes to them because they've only seen a workaholic mom who's always working, always more. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's a good unit. There's a lot of communication, and it's. I think there's not one set formula that family that issue, but the fact that we are able to communicate, sit together over dinner, and say, "Hey, today's not a good day. Can you know, take over?"
Mhm.
I think that's what has worked for me.
That's beautiful. The transparency always works, just letting out your feelings and the true feelings can be shared with the family. That just keeps it easy for you to keep that in your mind, to keep the calm in your mind. And it also kind of translates to the other family members that where you are coming from. We would like to know what would be your message for all the moms.
um, just be you, do you, and that's it. There's just not one person, there's just not one formula, just one secret. Everyone is unique, and everyone has a right to try being themselves, to being themselves. It's okay if things don't work the way you would actually want to. You can just pick up your pieces, do everything all over again. But the relationship between a mom and a child is very unique, it's very personal. And as far as that is okay, as far as you can communicate with your children, everything else can be sorted out.
Lovely, lovely, Malar. One last thing I wanted to ask you. How do you pick yourself when you are at the lowest level? Because when you are running your own business, it's a roller coaster ride. You know, you're on the top at one time and then you fall down in the bottom, you get yourself up. How do you maintain that? How do you pick yourself up when you're at your lowest? What do you do?
Honestly, it has now become, it's become a practice now, because as an entrepreneur, you have more failures than you see successes. So
Mhm,
one, it has been a practice, but the most important thing for me is my support system. My support system is just not my family, my husband, my children. I also have a great set of friends who I can just call at any time in the middle of the night and say, hey, listen, I'm upset. And they're like, they don't even talk about work. I have a great
mhm,
support system. It took years to build that support system. It took a few uh, you know years to build that kind of
mhm,
support system. But now I have a, a good set of friends and family I know who actually push me back to to focus on what I have to do and keep me on track. So they're like, "Hey,
mhm.
book lady, get back to work. You had your cry." That just happened a few weeks before. I called my best friend in India and said, "You know what? I'm upset." So he always says this. He says, "Okay, I'm going to place my phone on my shoulder. You're going to cry, and then once you're done, you're going to put the phone back and go do your work." So even long
That's
distance
lovely.
friendships, I think I'm blessed with a great support system, and that's how I pick up my pieces. I have people to remind me that I'm not that failure.
That's beautiful. You know, that's the treasure that you have, the treasure of friendship, the treasure of relationships that you have kind of built over the years. Malar, there is one more thing that you had mentioned is you being an author, a creative person, and then having a management degree and how it helped you to actually make a business out of it. Would you like to give some of the tips to people or the women out there who want to turn their passion into their profession?
Most definitely. The fundamental thing that mums or women who's starting out have to understand: business is all about numbers. There is no emotions there. You're out there to do a profitable venture because you have invested your hard earned money into that, or you've taken an investment from someone else. So business is about numbers. You have to always have a process and a strong a formula to make sure that you translate that investment into profits. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. And the second thing that they have to understand, any new business people have to understand, is you don't have to know everything. I You ask me 17 plus 7 plus 4 and then I'm all bonkers. I just don't
Mhm,
understand numbers. But you ask me, I can sit with you for 4 hours and just speak about 60,000, 70,000 books that I've read. So everyone has a unique talent. Where you are lacking, you should seek support and get professional help. You can hire an accountant if you're not good at numbers. If you're not good at marketing, you can hire a marketing person. It's absolutely okay to seek support, because one person cannot run a successful business. The third thing is, as you rightly mentioned, I love that question that you asked. You should have a support system, because mentally you should be ready to fall and get up and run. So that kind of support system is very important. So fundamentally, the initial, always think on paper, work out your business model on a paper, and then slowly translate that into real life. Then it's easy.
lovely. Thank you so much, Malar. Thank you so much for that insight. And thank you so much for coming on the show. The book
My
lady of UAE. May you read many, many more books to many more children out there and have many more bookstores out there, not just in UAE, but across the globe.
Thanks a lot, Avni. I would love to come back to go to the US to do more bookstores. So that's my next plan. We are actually launching our publishing, and
Hmm.
I am definitely coming for a tour to North America and Canada to promote my other books. So I hope I can meet you and your followers very soon.
Absolutely. We're waiting for you, Muller.